If you care about how other people feel, if you often put other people's needs ahead of your own, or if you're a people pleaser, you probably find it hard to say no when people ask something of you. So you may just say yes to everything and end up feeling burdened, overwhelmed, and stressed. In this video, we'll explore why it's hard to just say no and what to do about it so you can start to set better boundaries and improve your quality of life. When someone asks us to do something, they need something from us and they ask us, there are a few things that happen internally, so inside of you, that make it really hard to say no. Let's use an example to see what's going on. Let's say you took a personal day from work so you can de-stress and spend some time with your partner, and you were really looking forward to this day. So on the day of, you wake up, you feel good, and you see an email from your boss. She's asking if she can have half an hour of your time to discuss something important. She understands it's your day off, but she says she needs you. So put yourself in this scenario and imagine how you would feel. Now think about saying no to your boss. What comes up for you? There are a few things that are going on. So first, there might be guilt. Let's say you have a really good relationship with your boss. She's done a lot for you and you want to be there for her. And you know that she's been really stressed about this project. She's been relying on you a lot. So when you imagine saying no to her, you feel guilty. Oh, I can't do that to her. And then there's a fear of negative consequences. So you don't want to let her down, and you're afraid that if you were to say no, then there might be a conflict. Maybe you fear conflicts, and she's not going to think as well of you, as highly of you, and that may have negative consequences for your career prospect. And then there's also a desire for you to contribute and to be a good team player. And you care about this project too, and you want to do a good job and you want to do whatever is necessary. So all these things, guilt, fear of negative consequences, desire to contribute, just to name a few, all these happen very quickly in your mind just by you even thinking of saying no. So what often ends up happening is that you almost automatically end up just saying yes. It feels like you have no choice. You might wonder, what's the big deal here? It's just half an hour of my time. Maybe I can just give this half an hour of my time and go on with the rest of my day. And maybe that's how you rationalize yourself every time you said yes to people's requests. The problem here is that what's happening is that you're sacrificing your own need for rest and relaxation for your boss's need to get the work done. And if you keep doing this over and over again, resentment will build. And not only that, you may actually burn out from work. And that, of course, hurts your ability to perform and function at your best. Your boundaries are there to prevent that from happening. Your boundaries are there to protect your needs so you can function at your best. What boundaries are also for is that they give people guidelines as to how they should treat you. So if you say yes to your boss's request, you might be thinking, oh, it's just this one time, but it sends a signal to your boss that it's okay to ask you to work on your day off. It sets a precedent. So if that's not how you want to be treated, then it's important to set firm boundaries and say no, no matter how difficult that might be. Let's talk about how to specifically do that and set boundaries. The first step is to really get to know what you want and what you need. And this step is really important because if you don't know what your needs are, then you don't know what boundaries to set. There are no boundaries. So set aside some time to reflect on your needs and wants. A client that I worked with, she had a habit of giving up her lunch hours every day so she can get more work done. And at first she thought it wasn't a big deal especially because she has been doing it for a year. But when she's had a chance to reflect and think about how that was affecting her, she realized that it was having a negative effect on her mood, energy, and the level of stress that she experienced at work. So she started setting aside an hour, well, she started with half an hour, and she just so she can have lunch, take a short break, and she put it in her calendar so that people don't expect her to be available during her lunch hour. Once you know what you need and what you want, it's time to communicate your boundaries. And I know this might be the hardest step for you especially if you're used to just saying yes to everyone and everything. So you can take it slow. You don't have to expect this to be easy. It takes practice, but you can get there. So the first thing to do is to pause. Before you do anything and you get asked to do something, you pause. And you take some time to listen to your body and inner feelings. So that stress you feel when someone asks you to do something, it might be a signal that, yeah, I really don't want to, or I feel overwhelmed, I just don't have the capacity for it. So it's important to listen to that signal from yourself. Once you decide that the best thing for you is to say no, then it's time to put that into action. And when you say no, you can be gentle but firm. In the previous example, you might say something like, "No, I'm not available to speak with you today. I'll speak with you the first thing tomorrow morning when I'm back." And two things to remember when you communicate boundaries: you don't need to apologize or over-explain. Just a simple no is enough. Setting boundaries can be tough, so don't be discouraged if saying no feels hard for you right now. It just takes some practice. Even though the result of setting boundaries can be good, like having more energy, more time, and more freedom, it doesn't mean that the process of it is easy. One tip is to start setting boundaries in safe relationships, like with your partner and close friends, and move on to tougher situations, like saying no to your colleagues and your boss and in other difficult relationships. And after you say no, which might be stressful, it's important to take some time to do some self-care and de-stress so you can recharge and recover. If you found this video helpful, you can like and subscribe for more content related to mastering your emotions. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.